So adding and subtracting fractions, a review. When we add and subtract fractions, they have to have the same denominator for us to combine. If they do, we simply add the numbers up top or subtract, depending on what the question is, and leave the denominator the same. So first example, I've got 4/17 plus 7/17. Denominators are the same. So it's going to be the same denominator in my answer, and my numerator will be what?
11.
11, because I just added 4 and 7. And we're done. However, most fraction questions, when you're asked to add or subtract, the denominators won't be the same. But we know how to make them the same. We need to change one or both of the fractions so that the denominators are the same. What denominator could I make here out of 4 and 12? 12. So I'm going to convert each one to 12. First one I don't have to touch because it's already over 12. Well, how do I convert the second one? I got to figure out, okay, 4 times what is 12? 3, which means that's what you have to multiply the top by. So therefore, 3/4, pardon me, becomes 9/12. Now I'm ready to add them just like we did in the previous example. What would I get? You said? We're not. Oh. I can't hear you. 14/12. Now, I've stated it up top, and I know you guys are used to changing it to a mixed number. You do not have to change it to a mixed number. Leave it as a fraction if it's improper, but make sure it's reduced. Can I reduce this? So what? Yes, I can divide the top and bottom by 2 to get a final answer of 7/6. Okay, and just, I mean, if you write 1 1/6, it's still right. I knew you were going to ask that question.
What did you do by defining thing, like e times 12/4 and it's 4/12? 12 numbers too. Is that correct?
So you times these 2 by 4, these 2 by 12? Yes. I mean, it's still technically correct. The only problem with that is that you may get some large numbers that you're going to have to reduce. That's the only potential danger. With simple fractions, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Okay, next one. We got a subtraction. And the denominators aren't the same, so I have to make them the same. So I need to find the smallest number that both 9 and 4 divide into evenly.
Or
36. Okay. So the first one, well, to get from 9 to 36, I'm going to have to times 4, which means I'm going to have to times the top by 4. So 7/9 becomes 1/36. 28. And then for the second one, to get from 4 to 36, I have to multiply by 9, which means I got to multiply the numerator by 9. Keep it balanced, keep the values. So I get 9. Now I'm ready to subtract. The denominator stays the same, and then just subtract the numerators to get. And does that reduce? Sure. What could I divide the top and bottom by?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens if we have this situation? A whole number and a fraction. What would I do, Finley? You can change any whole number to a fraction by tossing it over one. And now you just find the lowest common denominator, or the smallest number that 1 and 15 go into, which is just 15. Well, you don't have to change the second one. What would you multiply the bottom and top by in the first one?
3.
By 3?
Oh.
By
Oh, 5.
5? That's okay. 1 times 1 is 50. Yeah, there you go. It happens. People, yeah. So therefore, 3 times 15? This is where you could use a calculator if you needed to, but you don't have to. 45. Yep. And now I'm going to see, can I reduce it? Yeah. Well, I can't reduce it by an even number because one of them's odd. Which means I maybe 3.
Can't do it like.
Yeah, you can't do it by 3. Yeah, you can't do it, so we're done. That's as far as we can go. Okay. Similarly with this one. Change it to a fraction, so 10 becomes 10 over 1. Therefore, my lowest common denominator would be 8. Don't have to change the second one. But what does the first one become? I have to multiply top and bottom by 8, so I get 80. Subtract, and I get 73 over 8, and we reduce. Try the next one on your own, please. That's the last one before we do a couple of problems. And for fractions, what would you change it to, Claire? Yeah. And that's as far as you can go. Good. Okay. Okay. Let's just have a look. I'll do this one. It'll give us bigger numbers. I didn't realize there was one more left. So what are we going to change each fraction to over 12? Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't know whatever you times it, so you times 17 by 4 and then 13 by 3.
Yeah.
This will equal 29, 12, and 10.
Perfect. Well done. Yeah, that's it. And then these last two are just sort of interpreting over problems. So really what you have to do with these word problems is you have to just figure out, okay, what operation is the problem telling me to do? And then once you've got that, you just take your understanding of adding or subtracting. So we've got a full set of permanent teeth. A quarter of them are incisors and 3/8 are molars. What fraction of all teeth are incisors and molars? So what would we do to find the total fraction? Add, subtract, add. Because we're going to take the fraction of these and the fraction of those. So we're going to go 1/4 plus 3/8. Lowest common denominator is 8. Second one doesn't change, but the first one changes to 2. And when I add, I get 5/8. Last example. Herman has 3/4 of a yard of cloth material. He uses 1/5 of it to cover a chair. What fraction is he left with? Addition or subtraction? Subtraction. Going to take the fraction he has to begin with, take away the amount that he used for the chair. Lowest common denominator would be 20. Therefore, each fraction changes to. First one changes to 15, and then 4, which gives us an answer of. Right. Now, in this one, there is units of a yard. So you need to put, you can spell out yard, or you can just put YD. That's short for yard. But you should have units for that one. This one, there was really no units. So you didn't have to worry about it. Okay? So that's a review of adding and subtracting. So tomorrow we talk about the other 2 operations. And then that'll sort of finish the review unit, which is really what this is.